Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boys, and we are back with the 17th episode of the DNAnime podcast. Are you guys excited on this here glorious, glorious day? It is me, your hostess with the mostest, Beautiful Crow, and I'm here with my co-host, Nick Seal, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of fun anime topics today, so I hope you guys are excited. We got a whole brand new season of anime, a bunch of brand new anime topics. We had episode 17. The podcast hasn't died yet, and we've been weekly, ignoring that 1 week, but we've been weekly ever since, and it's been a glorious thing. I am very excited to sit down and talk. I have a lot of energy. I don't even know why. I have not been sleeping for the past 18 days, but I'm here.
I'm rejuvenated from beating Mesmer.
I know. So yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with anime. I mean, it was an anime ass moment. I've been playing Elden Ring, the DLC, and I've been fighting Mesmer for the past like 7 to 8 hours, and I beat him, and I almost passed out from yelling. But off of that high, we're gonna use the energy. We're gonna use that splendiferous feeling of joy, and I'm thinking of one word, but I can't think of it. What's the word for good? Elation. The elation.
I was trying to also think of the word. I was like, I know it starts with an E.
Yeah, ejaculate. No, elation. We're gonna use that, and we're gonna have some fun talking about some anime today. So hopefully you guys are hyped up there for us. But if you guys are watching us live on Twitch, say hello to everybody here that's watching on the video podcast. If you guys are watching the VOD on demand on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and join the conversation. If you guys are listening to the audio realm through the audio podcast services, we want to thank you for your service. But you can also support the podcast. It does help us out immensely by leaving a rating on your podcast service of choice to help with searchability. Other than that, guys, we're going to hop into the first topic of today, and I think it's going to be a fun one. We were literally just talking about in real life pets, but screw them real puppers. We're going to be talking about the coolest anime pets that we would like to have. So
there's not as many pets in anime as there should be. There should definitely be a lot more.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
There should be
more pets.
Or some I excluded a lot because I considered them like not pets, but were like
okay. So what
they
do
were
you
either like a
not
summon or they were like just part of an attack. Maybe they were actually sentient. So
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, the sentience part. I was like, well, okay, this honorable mention. I was going to say, what's his damn name from ReZero? Like Amelia's little familiar guy.
Puck.
Yeah, Puck. I was gonna say him, but I was
he's
like,
not a pet,
is he a
though.
pet?
He's a spirit.
That's what I'm saying. He like a little cute, adorable little animal man. But I was like, he also can think and probably do taxes and shit. So I was like, I don't know if I consider him a pet.
Yeah, he's more of a familiar than a pet. Like we could do like non-humanoid companions if you want. My list is like specifically pets.
Mine would be pet as well. But here, what's your first pet on your list?
Yeah, I'm gonna honorable mention one because Zoot made me think of it earlier. He brought up Plu from Brave Master Fairy Tale, and that wasn't what I thought of. When he said that, I was like, of course I have to put Happy on the list. So
yeah,
Happy's better than Plu. Fight me, Zoop. Happy is better than Plu. At least Happy is a form of transportation. So
yeah. All Plu does is jiggle around and
he got stuck in the wall one time.
Wow. Your good old fashioned carrot nose dog.
When I had my first cosplay as Natsu, I had all kinds of different Happy items. Like I had a pillow pal that was Happy. I had a backpack that was Happy.
Oh my god,
the
everything
backpack one would have been sick, but they put the straps on the wrong side. So, because if they would have had him face my back, then that would have made perfect sense. But he was looking away from me, and I was like, ah, damn, so close.
I mean, it makes sense.
I had like another pillow and I had like a stuffed animal of Happy. Happy was the bomb, but he's not a pet. He's Natsu's like best friend, brother, best of friendo.
I know, like it's kind of weird. I was just looking at a list. You know who they had on the list for pets?
Blue.
Yoruichi. I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, huh?
Like, because she can turn into a cat. Yeah.
Some people wish that she would be their pet. I'm sure.
I was like, what the fuck? And then I also saw Panther from Fairy Tail. I was like, that's a grown ass man. I was like,
Panther Lily?
People getting freaky on the list.
He's kind of in the same boat as Happy is, where he's like,
yeah, be a grown man.
He's an Exceed is what they're called, but like, dude can transform into super buff humanoid Panther, and he has like intelligent conversations with Gajeel all the time.
That's what's kind of weird.
He could not be a pet. But my first like actual one, I'm gonna say this is probably my number one pet. This is probably the most pet a pet can be. This is Bond from Spy Family, the big dog.
Oh well, yeah.
The
He's just
like
a giant dog, yeah.
trained dog that for some reason knows how to like see the future. He's like just a smart dog. So Bond is great. He's really big. He's really fluffy. He's really loving. He's smart. I would take Bond as my pet if he is ever like out there anywhere and they're like, hey man, this guy needs a home. Put him here. I will fucking take Bond as a pet. I also love that instead of like actually barking, they also make him just go borf. So he like just says it in a deep tone. He's like so expressive, which is like, it's an anime thing. Like obviously he's not gonna be doing that if he were like a real pet, but he's just like such a good boy. You know, the goodest of boys. He falls right into the doggo categories. Like he's good with Anya, who's, you know, a small child and very fluffy. He's already trained. I think he's kind of an older dog. I think he's a retired spy dog. So he's very smart. I don't know where he got the ability to like see the future or whatever it is that he can do.
No, canine instincts.
But yeah, he is definitely like the most pet. He's the goodest of boys. So
no, I totally understand that. I'm a dog guy. I have a turtle, obviously. He's not really a dog, but a lot easier to deal with than in my little tiny apartment. But yes,
I mean, if your turtle could see the future and was expressive about it,
I mean, that would be sick. Like
the fucking turtle from Roshi Island isn't on your list, is he?
No. Again, he could English too. Like I don't know. It gets kind of weird because like anime like pets or anime animals like being able to talk to you. I mean, that would be cool, obviously. But I'm just like, would you consider him a pet or just like, yo, this is my homie turtle?
Yeah, I was like, if they just started speaking to me, I think you kind of evolve away from pet and they just becoming like your best friend. They're like already your best friend, but I feel like a pet is something that you have to take care of, and if they are sentient, they can kind of take care of themselves.
Yeah, so, turtle, get the fuck off the island, get a job.
Yeah, get out of here. Work from home or something. They'll never know. They'll never know that I'm a dog behind the screen.
Just slapping the keyboards. Oh my god. But no, I agree with that. I haven't seen much of season 2 of Spy Family. It's another one of the animes I got to catch up on. Everything that gets away from me, I'm just like, all right, it's gonna be like a day I got a marathon of. But I have seen Bond. And he's really fucking cool. Obviously, we have the big moment, the end moment or whatever.
Is actually one of the redeems on my channel. He's the it's over redeem.
But yeah, he's the goodest of boys, so I respect that choice. So my first pet, so my first pet is gonna be from a classic anime, and I think this would be cool for a multitude of reasons, right?
Is it gonna be from the controversial anime? Is it the dog? Is it what I'm thinking of? Is it a dog?
I guess it more so a fox, I guess. But no, it's not a dog. Wait,
I know. I think wasn't who I was thinking of, but this is. I think the next one was on my list. If it's who I'm thinking of.
Are you? Wait, no, wait. Okay, I'm getting now. I'm fucking like curious. What dog? I was like, not fucking N-word.
No.
That's not a controversial anime. What controversial anime? Is there a dog?
Cowboy Bebop's dog, whatever his name is.
Oh,
I think it is.
Ein?
Yeah, A or whatever. That's what I was thinking of.
That's not fucking controversial. You're controversial for not liking it.
I was trying to say it without saying it.
It's not League of Legends. You can speak Cowboy Bebop's name.
I didn't want to be wrong.
I mean, he would be a good one. Ein's a good boy. He just be bouncing around. Dude, he's a little idiot. But no, mine, because I'm a fucking dork, my first pet will be Kilala. Or Kirara,
that was my next one.
From Inuyasha.
Yeah, Kilala is fucking amazing as a pet.
Dude, it would be so sick. Because, like, the great thing about Kilala is that, one, she could turn tiny. So you can hang out with her, play with her, and keep her in your house.
Foxfire, small, you can fight.
Yeah. And then you turn into, like, a giant, like, flaming, flying fox that you can ride around. They're just like, hey, let's go to the store or something like that. They're just like, woo, we fly through the sky. That would be fucking sick.
The little sound that she makes when she's like little is also like super adorable. As long as if she did it like all of the time, then I would be like, all right, Kilala, you might need to shut the fuck up. But if she does it like every once in a while, like in the show, it's super adorable.
Dude, I love me some Inuyasha. Again, Sango and Kid Lala was a fucking amazing tag team. Like them, it was just always so cool seeing Sango go into battle and she's like got the giant fucking boomerang. Again, it was just fucking sick. And again, I think it'll be cool to have a pet that we could do like cool stuff together, like fly. Like it'll be like me up there in the sky, like never in the story.
It's just
shit.
like a mode of transportation.
Yeah, the never ending story. Like it would be awesome. Yeah, dude, it would be fucking sick. I'm sure the government would shoot us down or something.
Dog that just jumped up on the couch. He looks like Falcor when he's like sticking his head out the window. Got the wind blowing his like mustache back, and he's like, he looks just like him.
Yeah, but I would 100% say Kilala. Like, again, I love Inuyasha. I thought that Kilala was always just really fucking cool and cute. And again, turn big, turn small, protect the house. Somebody try to break in, giant flaming fox demon just come and light your ass up.
She's smart enough to be like almost sentient, so she's just doesn't talk, but she understands human language. So like you could just be like, hey, you know our friends. If somebody comes here that's not one of them, you know what to do.
Exactly. You light the ass up. You take them flying to the sky. You drop them up.
And then catch them and say, be gone. We don't want that much death, but if they question you, then don't catch them.
Yeah. You just fly the ass right to jail. Straight to jail. All right. So that's my first one. What is your next pet on your list?
Kilala was my second one. Because Kilala is just like iconic as like the group pet. So everybody knows Kilala. So I only had 3 and an honorable mention. So Happy was my honorable mention. There was Kilala and Bond. The last one is technically from a game, but it does have an anime. It is Tales of Symphonia, Lloyd's dog, Noish. The big blue thing that everybody calls a dog. It's almost certainly not a dog, but nobody knows what it is. But
yeah, he is, like they always just call him a dog.
They just call him a dog, and then like they keep bringing it up that he's like not a dog, and then they're like, "What do you mean? This is my dog?" And it's just this big blue creature. He doesn't like do anything really. He is probably the most like realistic pet aside from being a giant blue almost fox. He just kind of hangs out. He just chills. Until
Noish is fucking sick.
Yeah, he just hangs out. He's chill. He's like the best friend. He'll just hang out with you. He's when you start the game, he ends up being like your mount at some point, so you can run around faster. Obviously, every time you get a pet, they have to be able to become a mode of transportation of some kind. So.
Yeah, boy. I mean, that's what was sick about Monster Hunter Rise. You get a fucking what are they called? The dogs, the canines. But you can ride them and shit. They were fucking sick.
I don't know. I don't remember.
You didn't play Rise a lot, did you? Yeah, World is good, but yeah, the dogs from Rise were fucking awesome.
But yeah,
anyway, keep going.
Noish is just kind of there. He's like I said, he's probably one of the more like petty pets. Like he doesn't do anything unless you tell him to. He's one of those ones where you look at him and he's got nothing going on behind those eyes. He's just like, I'm here and I am happy to be so.
Dude, now you
look at your own dog or like somebody else's dog and they're just like, yeah, I'm happy to be around. That's Noish. He is just a dog that he just acts like a dog that's just happy to be here. So
he's like, I got to keep up the charade so nobody thinks about what I actually am.
Dumb. Like you just have to love them, and then they don't even do anything. If anything ever happens to them, then it's like I'm gonna have to like commit war crimes or something if something happens to my dog.
Exactly. You're like, I just met Noish.
I'm gonna go John Wick if something happens to Noish.
Exactly. All right, so can I throw an honorable mention in since you brought up Tales? All the Tales games got like an anime. Repeat from Tales of Vesperia. So I don't think you played Tales of Vesperia.
Is the one that I have not played.
Yes, and Repeat is literally just a dog, but he's fucking sick. He's a dog that has a pipe, an eye patch, and he carries a sword. He's like a fucking
I know who it is. Yeah, the like wolf-looking one.
Yeah, he's so fucking sick.
Yeah, he's sick.
Like, he doesn't have an eye patch. He has a scar over his eye.
Always like
and he has like the little smoking pipe.
Pet in the Tales games. Like in Zillia, they have Tipo, which is Elise's little doll thing. Berseria has Mienfu, I think his name is. the like wizard dude. But he's sentient. He's like fully sentient. He's like an actual living being that has like its own race and everything.
I still need to finish Berseria. I was really enjoying Berseria. I just never finished it.
Zestiria doesn't have one, but I think it's just because they're all kind of like the pet. the seraphim, they're like tied to Soray as the shepherd.
Oh yeah, true.
It was also I think Zestiria was the only one that got rid of their female main character and then swapped her out. And then they're like, oh, when everybody was like, yo, what in the world? Why did you do that? They're like, our bad. Here's some DLC where she's back. And I was like,
she just had to go back. Her home planet needed her. But now she's back.
Yeah, the Tales games like to have their little stuff. Noise is probably just like the most pet one of all of them. The rest of them start becoming more required, where they end up being like the tutorial voice, where they'll tell you something, or there's like comedic relief like Mianfu is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Noise is just a good boy. We love having good boys in our shows.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to bring up mine. So my next animal, I guess repeat would be my honorable mention. It more so a game than or game character more so than an anime one. But fuck it, we do it. We ball. So my next pet. This wouldn't make any sense. I don't know how I would keep this pet around, but dude, I fucking love One Piece so much that I have to bring up this character, Laboon.
The whale.
I love Laboon. Yeah, the whale. He has such a fucked up story, and I want him and Brook to meet back up.
But I guess he would be, right?
Yeah, more so than Chopper.
Said Chopper. That's why I did like the squinty eyes. I'm like, you're not about to call Chopper a pet, are you?
No, Chopper a whole man. He got the man fruit. I mean, Chopper would be a good one as well, because Chopper is just fucking sick. He can heal you. He a doctor.
He's like carried around like a doll. So like I can see where people would think that he's a pet. He's not. But like the whale. Oh, I totally forgot about the whale. That was like Brooke's pet.
Yeah, Laboon's fucking sick, and this whole thing is just like, I want to get and meet my fucking crewmates and see Brook and him again. And he's trapped on the other side of the red light. He's just like hammering his head against it because he's like, I need to go to the new world to meet up with my crew again. And his face is all like fucked up and scarred, like because you see him at first, he's like this little adorable whale that's hanging out with like Brook and him. Yeah, and he's just a part of the crew, and then like he grows up and he's like all got with battle scars and shit all over his face when like Luffy and him meet him. And he's like still trying to like meet his crew, and then obviously we know Brook because he's part of the crew now. And he's like, Laboon wants to see you again. And like Luffy and them, they paint the gold, well, not the Gold Roger, but they're Jolly Roger on his face. So he's like a part of the Straw Hats crew. And just like, I want Laboon to come back. But Laboon would be sick. Again, I don't know where I would keep him.
You gotta keep him at home.
Yeah, you would think I'd be able to keep Laboon in the pool that I have for the pool street. It wasn't fully filled up.
I feel like I'm like overlooking a lot. I like went through my list, and I just didn't see that many that I would really. I've seen a lot of animal companions. I really wanted to just leave. There are some more notable ones like Akamaru.
Yeah, I thought about Akamaru as well. Akamaru
include him because while he's like cool, I guess he is both never in the show, and when he was in the show at the beginning, he was essentially worthless. So
I mean, the thing is like he's just a dog. Like if he was our pet, he would just be a dog. Like we wouldn't be able to do Fang over Fang. I didn't
include like Pakun too, because he is also like just a dog. It just does dog things that, but he can speak.
Yeah, dude, why the fuck do people put Blair from Soul Eater on their list? As a whole woman, people freaky with these anime pet lists.
I don't think people understand what a pet is.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck? But yes, those are some of the cool anime pets. But if you guys have an anime pet that you would like to have in real world, unlike me having a whole ass whale probably isn't as practical, you guys can let us know in the comments down below. And also if you're here live. But yeah, those are our anime pets. I think we had a bunch of good ones, actually. It was actually a pretty fun topic. So when you proffered this to me, I was like, ooh, what anime characters or what anime like animal would I like as a pet? There's a lot of fun ones.
I was thinking about Pokemon, but I decided that I didn't want to include any Pokemon because I feel like it would be too obvious. They feel so many different roles. Like some are companions, some are combatants, some are like
gods.
butlers, some of them are God.
Some of them are the main character's dad.
Digimon, I think they're just too sentient to be considered a pet.
Dude, I would love that. Yo, actually, no, fuck that. I want Agumon. I would love Agumon. Agumon is the fucking sickest.
Yeah, like
That's my favorite thing about
definitely
Digimon.
be like, yeah, let me have a Digimon as like a buddy, but like a pet. I don't think I would ever call a. I feel like if I were to call one of my Digimon a pet, they would get offended and leave.
Probably. But hey, semantics, schematics. But that was my whole thing as a kid, man. I was like, yeah, you know, Pokemon's great and all, but Digimon can talk. That's sicker. And Agumon can turn into a fucking battle tank. Just like Digimon's always been a sicker one to me. Like, what Pikachu gonna do? Not evolve? You know what I mean? Agumon turned to War Greymon, turned into a fucking Gundam. And I'm just like, this is fucking sick. But yeah, I didn't want to do Pokemon or Digimon because I just felt like it would be too easy because you just list off a ton of them.
There's like 1,000 something Pokemon that I could like list off that could be pets.
Yeah, I would do a Growlithe. Growlithe would be sick as a pet.
I would totally take a Growlithe. Yeah, like I could see you could definitely make a lot of Pokemon like into a pet. But most of them, especially like if you just play the games, you can't make them a pet. There's no like Chow Garden for Pokemon, which would be pretty sick though.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, Sega's just sitting on that fucking money.
I think there was like a rumor about the Chow Garden coming back.
I would love it, dude. I love Chow Garden back in the day. This is totally off topic. Are we in Q&A portion of the podcast?
We are now.
we in Q&A portion of the podcast. So how are you guys doing? And we are going to be heading on over to our next topic of the podcast. It's going to be a fun one. It's a topical one because I feel like this genre anime has taken the anime world by storm. Because every last season of I think ever since Sword Art, every season of anime has had at least 1,000 isekai. And I'm being generous, or I'm being...
it definitely has been like growing in popularity with each like successive season.
Yeah, a lot of people that are downplaying it.
We don't need so many isekai. They don't need to be isekai. They could just be a fantasy.
So I'm a very stubborn dude, right?
You want to be. You can like you put yourself in that position if they're isekai. If they're just like already there, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's. I'm of two minds, right? With isekai, right? I know we talked about it in previous episodes where I bitch and whine about like the long ass titles because like a lot of them are like visual novels and stuff like that. I don't like long ass titles of anime. Most isekai are long ass title. I don't even know the full title of like Slime or Osad. I think most people just come up with like a little abbreviation of it. I like isekai, right? Now it's getting to a point where it's getting a little generic. You know what I mean? And this topic ain't just us talking about isekai, but it's getting a wee bit generic.
All they have to do when they make an isekai is they have to keep the previous life relevant. It can't just be like, LOL, somebody died and now they're here.
Yeah, because I was just like, at that point, just do medieval fantasy. But every now and again, there's a nice little isekai, there's a little diamond in the rough. And the topic for today is, our second topic is, where would you, if you could be isekai in any world, any anime world, where would you like to be? So this is a fun one, actually. I feel like my answer, because I was thinking about it. I was like pondering, all my synapses was firing, all my two brain cells rubbing together. I was like, where would I like to go that wouldn't end up me being in hell? like I want to be in a fantasy world, but that wouldn't lead to me just immediately eating shit and dying. Now, so I was like, okay, well, I need me a isekai world that has like a cool power system, right? So again, this might be a basic bitch answer, but I'm just gonna say it. I would love to get isekai in Naruto world. So I don't know about you, Vix, but when I was a youngin, when I was a teenager, when Naruto first came out, 'cause I think Naruto came out when I was 16. So again, I was kind of old, but not too old to not enjoy Naruto. And I love the jutsu system. Like, I love the chakra system. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's cool. Yeah. I like that there's a lot of things you can do with it. A lot of the like predetermined stuff is all like, it's all just things that people have melded. It's like free range. As long as like you are adept to it, you can learn to mold and twist and shape the chakra in any way. You can have your own unique signature jutsus. Like, dude, the one jutsu that I was like, this shouldn't even be a jutsu. In Boruto, when Konohamaru's squad is like tuning the dude who had like the booger all the time, He
Oh
has a
yeah.
jutsu that like inflates his booger to be a trap. And I'm like, what the? That's gross. I would never
Yeah,
want to be
I
on the other
hate that
side of
guy.
it. If I ever saw that come out of his nose, I would either off him on the spot or I would run away. It would be
Yeah,
disgusting.
he deserved to die.
You can do anything you want. Anything that you put your mind to, you can do it.
And he's like, stop, Bubble. But no, when I was younger and I watched Naruto, me and my friends would all be like, oh yeah, you know, if I was a ninja, this would be my shit, or I'll be like a part of this family. And like we were all draw because like most anime fans, you try to draw like your own little anime or whatever. And I was like, yeah, my guy would be like a part of the Naruto family, and I'll do like shadow stuff, and like my shit would be like you'd be able to control the shadows and do all the stuff, but I could also use shadow clones because shadow, and I was like I think it'd be so cool. Again, there's so many different applications, like you said. With what you think my OC is lame?
Fucking Dukes. But
No,
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
If you want to get
Hey,
isekai so
Pokemon
that
would be
you
a
can
good
take
one.
their power system, you go to Pokemon.
Yeah,
where you
could be
have no power system.
You just have to keep. You gotta collect them all. You just want cute animals. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you could go to like Blue Exorcist, and you could just be a summoner. Shiemi gets the little green dude who helps you grow plants.
No.
There's no law against the Pokemon Batman.
Oh no,
But
no.
yeah,
But
that's what the face was. It
would be sick.
wasn't your thing. Like everybody wants to go do Naruto. Like you said, it was a basic answer because like everybody has thought about it. They're like, yo, I could definitely go use some chakra. I can learn the
Because
Rasen Shuriken. I can learn the Rasengan Chidori.
literally everybody has the ability to do it.
If I
Like,
ever
life
got
was like Dragon
reincarnated
Ball.
into Naruto's world, I would want to be reincarnated with a Kekkei Genkai of some kind.
Like a Sharingan or some shit.
Just like
Bone.
a
You'd be a bone
bloodline
boy.
trait of some kind, like Haku's crystal ice mirror is so fucking cool. If I got to pick a Kekkei Genkai, I would just pick that one because that one's so cool.
That is sick.
So, but like other things, like I feel like if you don't take one, then you're just at an innate disadvantage all the time. So you're like,
Well, that's the thing. It's
take
like certain
one.
like worlds, you go like Dragon Ball. It's like, all right, well, I'll probably be a human, or like I have to specify like, hey, I gotta be somebody who can actually become powerful.
yeah.
I feel like Dragon Ball. I mean, if I had my memories, I could game it. Actually, you know what's funny? In Dragon Ball, there's an actual manga that is a Dragon Ball isekai, where a guy or teenager a teenager dies and he gets reincarnated as Yamcha, but he's Red Dragon Ball. So the whole gimmick of the manga is like he's like, I know I'm Yamcha. I'm weak as fuck and I'm gonna die. So I was like, I need to train. So you get to see like him as Yamcha train and take shit seriously. And like he survives and he beats like the Cybermen. And he gets to do all the stuff. So like he goes for a lot longer than normal Yamcha goes, but he ends up dying at some point. I thought that was a really fun concept. It's
That
like,
is
yeah,
hilarious.
Yamcha wasn't a worthless character, and I thought that was pretty.
I never
fucking
would have
sick.
thought that DBZ would have had a fucking what if.
Isekai, yeah, it's nuts. But it's actually really fun. It's actually really fun. I would highly recommend it. But I didn't want to do Dragon Ball. 'Cause I'm like, if I'm just Krillin, I'm just a normal human. I'm just gonna get fucking stunted on and probably get blown up a bunch of times. Naruto, I thought, as far as shonens, it would be cool because you kind of have the ability to do anything with the chakra system, and as long as you're not like Rock Lee or something like that, where you can't use ninjutsu at all, you would pretty much be set. I mean, I would love to be Rock Lee, but then you have to
even
fucking
Rock
destroy
Lee
your
and
ass.
Guy have like an option.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, you don't be useless in Naruto. Whereas in like each Bleach, you'll be like, okay, well, I would have to be a fucking
the
soul.
idea behind this topic was that you were going to be somebody
true.
with the power.
Yeah.
So like
True.
you could pick one where there's like only 3 people that have the power. You would be one of those 3 people.
I'll be a god. I gotta say one dude. Okay, wait. This is we'll get to yours in a second. But One Piece. What fruit would you want?
What fruit?
Yeah, that would be a good one to get isekai too. And not being able to swim wouldn't be a big thing for me because I'm black.
I think I wouldn't want the gum. I feel like the generic answer is I want the gum fruit because now, especially if you read the manga, you know what it can do. It's just like that one's just like the all around best one. Like if you don't take it, you're just like you're literally like, please beat me.
Please beat me. Dude,
the
I
best
would.
one.
What is it? The flame fruit, Ace's fruit would be fucking sick.
There's so many of them that are
so
like
broken.
some of them are like just wildly broken though. Like I don't see a world in which the light fruit ever loses.
Yeah, there's no reason that fucking
If he ever
Borsellino will be
loses,
able to
it's
lose.
because he wanted that to happen. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way that you can move at the speed of light and you lose. There's no fucking way.
Well,
Like,
get caught up with the Mengi.
maybe the dark fruit can just like absorb him. Then maybe I would accept that. But like when he just loses in a straight up fist fight, I'm like, there's no way.
True. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I think One Piece is just fucking sick because this whole thing is just like you get a random power from eating a fucking vegetable, or a fruit. But yeah, I think that'll be fun. But I wouldn't want to go to One Piece because the world government is a piece of shit.
I mean,
And I'll probably get got.
until like maybe Luffy or something will take over. It's only a matter of time. Well, you would be a pirate in that world, so like it wouldn't really matter.
True.
You do whatever the fuck you want. You got devil fruit powers. What the hell you care? Or you could just be in the name. You could be like, what's his name? Kobe?
Garp or Kobe. I wouldn't be no Navy man. Sellouts. They the bad guys.
At least Garp and Kobe are in like that offshoot of the Navy program.
Dude, I'm so excited to where One Piece is gone. One Piece has been fucking. I mean, this is totally off topic, but One Piece has been fucking killing it. Egghead Island. That whole arc has been fucking amazing.
I haven't read like the last like 2 or 3 chapters because I just like it's so exhausting to go in. Like I have to be in a mindset where I'm like I'm ready to sit down for like 30 minutes to read this one chapter because there is 95 storylines converging at once. I'm like, this is just so much.
Oda packs that manga full of goodness,
It might as well just turn it into a light novel at this point. It's so much.
Yeah, it is a lot. But yeah, anyway, all right. So what's your first isekai work?
So I only have one on my list. I was like, if I ever had to pick one, it would be this one. And I'll tell you why. This is going to be the power system from Danmachi.
I fucking do it.
And I will tell you why. If you paid attention, why are you sighing? Why are you sighing?
You shit on Duke.
She on the other side of the room going, like her Pokemon answer was better.
At least you might stay alive in Pokemon. Danmachi, that last season got me scared.
Well, okay, first of all, you don't actually have to go into the dungeon. First of all,
True.
Second of all, you don't even if you do go into the dungeon, you don't have to go that far into the dungeon.
What if you fall down a hole?
Well, that like never happens in the first like couple of floors. That doesn't happen until they got down to like what was it, the 28th floor? That was the first time that there was like a hole. But the main reason that I would like to have that like power system is everything that you get from the power system, you earned it.
Yep.
Like it is basically gifted to you by the gods. Every time you do something, whenever you are like, when you do a feat of acrobatics, then your agility goes up. When you level up, you have a chance to get new skills. Those skills represent what you pretty much only level up when you do something absolutely bonkers. So when you get those skills, they will always like remind you that you overcame such a like ridiculous feat that you now have this new power. Aside from the like exception thing where like the grimoires give you like a free spell or whatever. Which is
you just read this whole book.
They're not easily accessible. It's not like anybody can go to the store and pick up Firebolt. You have to like, buy it for millions of dollars.
And even Firebolt, because again, the book he read, it was just like, all right, so what power would be unique to him? And it's because he was like, I want to be like this strong, fast presence that can save everybody. So they're like, all right, you get the fast fire magic or whatever. Like it was tailor made to him.
Well, the grimoire was, I believe the grimoires are specifically designated like with a type of like a magic affinity. So like no matter what, he was gonna get a fire spell in there. Yeah,
but it was just tailor made to him. So like you could get a fire spell, but it would be like something sick.
Tailor made skills are what's fucking cool. Like Bell, not only Bell and his like hero strike, which is freaking epic. There's also like, what's her name? Oh, I don't remember her name. Not Ryu and not Leifia, the other elf. Her like custom magic spell was that shield. And then Leifia's custom magic spell was that she could copy other spells.
Oh yeah.
And so like once Leifia was able to, when she started learning like concurrent casting, which is casting while moving, she could essentially be like a literal walking nuke at any time. She could cast the strongest spell while in motion. As long as she can learn how to do it, if anybody ever comes up with a stronger spell, she can learn it. And I'm like, that's a sweet ass spell. And then
Wait, what is that? Is that from the main? That's not from the main series. Is that from the side series?
It's Lefia's spell, so it's probably the side series, probably the sword.
Okay, I was like, who are you talking about?
Lefia is the elf that's like with the Loki familia. When that like has a crush on Eyes. So there's Riveria, who is already just like a high level mage, but she's very like generic. Like her spells are very powerful. She's just like the mage of mages. She's a very intelligent person or elf, but Lefia, her spell or her ability that she got at like level 3, she can copy other spells. Like other people can teach her those spells. She's the only one in the entire world that can do that, because she is basically like an infinite grimoire where anybody can teach her any spell, which is crazy because she does actually learn a life-saving defensive spell in the spin-off. She does learn it from the other. I thought the other elf was in the main series, but maybe not. This
yeah, I was confused
there's
for a second.
another elf that's very distant, and she ends up like befriending Lefia, and then Lefia ends up asking her, they're about to go do a expedition, and they're like, I want to be useful, and I want to make sure that everybody lives. Can you teach me your shield spell? And like over, course of a couple episodes, she does, and then it ends up being the spell that like saves everybody. And I was like, this is so fucking cool, dude. But I love that everybody's skills are so tailor-made to like how they act.
Yeah.
Like in Naruto, it's cool that you can mold to however you want, which is like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like in Danmachi's system, I feel like I would be rewarded for my efforts instead of having to like struggle for them. So like you can spend however many years, like Naruto would have spent literally thousands of years trying to develop Rasen Shuriken if he couldn't make 20 million clones.
Yeah.
So would you want to sink that much time into maybe learning a jutsu, or would you just like copy off of somebody else? But if I was like, if I'm in a life or death situation and I overcome it and I get my stats leveled up, and then they're just like, you now have this new magic spell that works specifically with how you act. That's fucking sick, dude. That's awesome. Everybody gets one too. Like Eyes and her wind, she's the only one that has the Tempest spell. Everybody knows about it because she uses it, but she's the only one that has it. And then like Belle's the only one with the hero strike. Lefia is the only one that can copy spells. Even the like other people in the Loki familia, some of them showcase that they have it. One skill that Finn got, the short dude from the Loki familia with like the big spear, his skill was essentially danger sense, and he feels a pain in his thumb when something is about to happen. And while the output of it is kind of dumb, where it's like, oh, I can feel it in my thumb, you would just kind of get used to him saying that, and then you're like, oh well, I should probably listen to him. Somebody else literally can see the future. So
True.
Like, they get so crazy, wild, twisted, and tailor-made to each individual adventurer. I was like, I wouldn't want another one that I would have to like come up with something that might not work for me. So I just think that their power system is really cool. They literally get a stat sheet, so you can kind of tell how you're acting the first like level 2 level. You will just see which stat is higher, how you act. You might not be able to tell.
You just want a tramp stamp. That's all you want.
Dude, getting one of the god tattoos on your fucking back would be awesome. Maybe not Loki's, because sick. Loki's is a clown. So, but getting Hestia's flame on your back would be awesome.
Dude, when Hestia drew their emblem, where it's like the bell with the flame on it,
isn't it so cool?
It's sick. Her drawing was ass. I was like, I did not understand it at first.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
but then
I got it.
When they did like the actual artistic render of it, it was so fucking cool.
It's so sick. It's so sick.
It was so cool.
I don't have any tattoos, but I would get that.
That's what I was like. If I got one, I would put it like on my shoulder. I would get Hestia's fire tattoo like on my back. I'd be like, I'd have the whole status page on there. I'd put like their fucked up language on there, their like digital language. But Yeah, that would be my power system that I got to pick. If I had to pick one that wasn't that one, it would probably have to be. I think I would just choose something simple like fairy tale.
Cause like I just don't want to be okay, I guess if we ignore the dangers, but yeah, fairy tale would be sick. I mean, just being like a certain type of mage.
Because you got to remember, you're taking the power system, which would then first of all put you in most cases in a pretty safe position in the dangers of the world. Second of all, most of the power systems you don't have to do that. Like there's plenty of people in Black Clover or whatever that can just use basic spells and they just go about their lives. Doing that would be like if I could just live my normal life but then also have like wind magic, that'd be pretty sweet. So I'd have like I'd have like a windmill in the backyard and I would just like blow magic on it for like an hour or something. Just like have a window nearby and just blow magic on it, generate some power.
Yeah, make me isekai into berserk.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I want to dare the eclipse.
I want to go into Gantz.
I can stop it. I can save my boy Guts. I can save them all. But no, I would not. Maybe I'm overthinking it where I'm just like, I don't want to be in Dragon Ball because shit be blowing up all the goddamn time. I don't want to be in this show because everybody be dying. Like Naruto, I feel like you'd be reasonably safe as a ninja. You know what I mean? As long as you're not getting like got. But I was like, as long as you know you're strong, take care of yourself. You could
just not be a Z fighter in Dragon Ball. And I'm like, well, everybody did die. And I was like, well, everybody did come back too. So
yeah. And then I would know. My first thing, I would collect them damn Dragon Balls and be like, make me a Saiyan, make me the strongest person on the planet, make me immortal. I was like, Boma, man, y'all gotta get out of here. I need to be strong so I can help save the world. I can save the world from devastation. But yeah, again, this is the appeal of isekai. This is the appeal, is to put you, the viewer, into that world of random anime guy who's the best guy, who's the strongest guy ever with the most opportune magic, can parry everything, got the strongest defense, a crazy alternate way to use heal, whatever dumb bullshit isekai show got. That's their gimmick.
To use healing magic.
Yeah, it's like that's why I like legitimately. I know we talk about it a lot, we gush about it a lot, but that's why I like shows like Naruto or Danmachi. I want to see the character work for it. I love training in anime. You know what I mean? I get the gimmick of isekai where it's just like, oh yeah, they have this one weird trick that nobody thought about. Every isekai is just literally a fucking YouTube thumbnail, and it pisses me off.
A lot of the magic systems are like, this guy's really overpowered because he applied science to his magic, and it's like nobody thought about any form of science up to this point.
Science, minus. What are you
like in the grandson or the 8th grandson? He gets his explosive firepower by adding excessive oxygen to an ignition source. And then it's just like a huge explosion. And it's like, nobody knows about oxygen?
He's the only guy that thought, Vix.
Why do you need to think? Guy that thought.
Why do you need to think when you got magic?
I do like in Jobless Reincarnations world, where they almost make it feel like Rudy's cantation-less magic was going to be like a him specific thing, but they go through how he got to that point, and then they also have him teach it to somebody else. So he is not special in the way that he got reincarnated and now he's OP. He's special because he did the work.
He trained.
Yeah. So he did the work, he got through it, and like, you know that somebody else can do it. So anybody that can't do it is probably like too old to like get the feel for it, or they like just didn't put the work in. So
yeah,
but
that makes sense.
I
like that was like a whole thing for a while, where it's like, oh, the main character, he can use magic without saying incantations. You could use alchemy without drawing a circle.
First time I could use magic, and somebody said that you could do that, I would immediately be like, all right, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah. So like you just sit over there fucking chanting for an hour and a half. Oh, with the bell tolls, the bell tolls for thee, and then you like casting the fucking lightning bolt, and it's like, man, motherfucker, I already moved 3 hours ago. I'm like, fuck.
It's crazy though when like you finally got to see him like in combat side by side with another mage, in Roxy, and she was like keeping up in spell speed. Yeah. Like she was also casting just as fast as he was without like saying anything. But she has to use incantations. So I was like,
yeah,
that is how good they can become, as they end up just identifying what they need to do next so fast. Like Rudy is probably more reactive as opposed to her, who's probably more proactive.
Proactive, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess that's why you become, what do they call them? Like, she's like the super great water magic or whatever, water mage level, whatever.
Yeah.
I forget what
Wizard,
it's called.
Water Wizard King or whatever.
Yeah, because they got like the
Siege
sword kings.
So when they get to, apparently when the mages get to like a certain level, they just end up getting a name. Guess what Rudy's name is?
I don't know, something pervert.
It's it's not, but it is.
Oh, what is it?
His mage name is Quagmire. Because he uses the like soft mud spell a lot.
Yeah.
So they called him Quagmire back when he wasn't telling anybody his name. But like in real world, like we've seen Family Guy. So,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no.
He's never beaten allegations. Oh my God. But hey, that is our second topic of the day. And let us know, what world would you like to be isekai in? I got the truck ready right for you.
If you are guaranteed to have the power system of the world that you are reincarnated into, what is the world that you would go to? You do not know the story of this world. Assume that you do not know the story of this world. Assume that you only know what the power system is. We are going to assume that you just, like, you are aware of it, and then it will deviate from that storyline.
Oh, that's bullshit. I wanted to go Dragon Ball, just wish for the greatest god ever lived.
The world would still be the same, but like the storyline would be different. So like everybody in it is still the same, but like they could fail getting the Dragon Balls or something.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be isekai in the Demon Slayer. All that shit fake. Unless you make me a demon. You're like, oh, no cool fire shit. I really wish I could. Like, somebody hit me upside the head with a frying pan. Yeah, just hit me upside the head with a frying pan and make me forget that the author said that the fire and the elemental effects ain't real.
Well, the author is wrong, all right? So the one time I will not agree with the author here.
And we're going to be moving on over to the last topic of today's podcast. This is actually going to be an interesting one because I wonder how our answers are going to differ from each other.
I feel like I know how our answers are going to differ because I think yours is not going to be the same as mine by quite a large margin. I feel like I know what yours is going to be since you're such a shonen guy. I think I know what yours is going to be. Okay, so
this is going to be kind of weird. All right, so the final topic of today is going to be, what is the golden age of anime? And just what we think like the best time to be an anime fan is. I actually think I might surprise you with this one. I don't know what your answer is going to be, but I'll start with mine. I think the golden age of anime is right now.
Oh, it's the same as mine.
That's what I was wondering. Man.
I was like, yeah, mine is right now with this last season, like really, really hammered it in for me because, you know, back whenever we first started watching anime, you could like barely get a good show. It was like you defaulted to Naruto, Bleach, One Piece because that was like all that was coming out. But especially with this last season, even the anime that I thought were going to be really dumb, they animated like so well. And back when we first started watching, watching anime was the thing that got you bullied like all the time. Now that will not happen. You would more than likely find somebody that would also be watching anime. There's not very many people that don't know what anime is anymore, and even fewer people are like as reluctant to give it a shot as they used to be. So we're definitely like, aside from right now, we don't have any of the like top sellers. Like there's no Naruto, there's no Bleach, there's no One Piece that are like topping the charts. One Piece is just kind of carried over. Naruto has become Boruto. Bleach has come back after like their 8-year, 10-year hiatus into their 3-part wrap up, which might actually continue again because there's supposed to be another arc after that. But we are definitely going in a direction where not only is like the anime becoming more available to innovate with, a lot of the like really obscure ones are getting animated. Well, there was one this new season that I was like, wow, 20 years ago, this would have never made it. The one with the fat elf.
Oh, yeah. The fucking French fry loving elf.
20 years ago, that would have never been greenlit for an anime. But now, Now everybody, they believe that there is enough people that would want to watch that they greenlit it for an anime season.
Plus size elf. Plus
Plus
size
size
elf.
elf. There it is. Yeah. So that is so cool that they are able to give more light on more obscure things and not like just the most popular ones.
Yeah, it's not just all holy shonen and then like classics like Rurouni Kenshin and Cowboy Bebop.
I was ready
or
for you to
fu-
be like, back 20 years ago was the golden age because we had Naruto, Bleach, Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, One Piece, and all that. I was ready for Shonen Man to come to light.
So that's when you first proctored this like question. I was like, yeah, if I'm thinking about like when the classes were Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, like back in my day when I was a teenager,
back then and didn't even know it.
Yeah, like those the anime that we would consider classes, there was like this gold rush. And again, I think if it's a matter of like perspective, I guess. So if I'm just thinking like, oh, what was the era that I enjoyed the most out of anime? It would be like the late, early 2000s, mid aughts, where it's just like all those bangers were coming out. The high pointed like Toonami, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Rurouni Kenshin, like all the classic shonen that will always come on. You had the 4 Kids dubs of a bunch of different anime, like Ultimate Muscle, which is coming back, or Shaman King, or all those like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like there were just so many great anime and manga that were being done, and then you had like a lot of the classes that were being dubbed and shown on Cartoon Network on Adult Swim, like Cowboy Bebop, like Escryed, like all the Gundam series. Like there's so many classic animes that everybody talk about in such high regard, like Fullmetal Alchemist, that all came out during that era. And so as a fan, like my love for anime and where it comes from is from that era of anime. But speaking, like, this is what changed my mind on it. Speaking as an anime fan, it's way better to be an anime fan right fuck now.
All of that stuff that you love to watch, it was scary to tell
freely
somebody
accessible.
that you wanted to like talk about it. You wanted to watch it. I'm watching Full Metal Alchemist, but you're like, who can you even tell? You tell the
Nobody.
wrong
I
person,
didn't talk to anybody.
You're gonna get into like worst case scenario, somebody jumps you. Like it,
you know how many people would talk shit? Because I don't know. I grew up in like an all black school, so it wasn't like, hey, dweeb, we gonna give you a swirly. Like I never had like that experience. It's mostly just like you probably get jumped by a bunch of guys. But like for the most part, what I always found funny, like people would make fun of me. I was the funny guy, like back in high school. So like that my sense of humor saved my ass and it got me out of a lot of altercations. But like I would talk about anime openly, and a lot of my friends wouldn't. They're like, yo, shut up. I'd be at the breakfast table, whatever, eat my honey bun, and just like talking about anime. And then, like all my friends were like, don't talk about that shit. Like people gonna think you lame. People gonna think, oh, you weird or whatever like that. And I never gave a fuck because my whole thing was like, I don't give a fuck if people dislike me, right? Like I'm always gonna be myself. I never cared about that. And I had arguments, like so many long arguments when I was younger with friends who were like, no, you can't let people know that you play games. You can't let people know that you watch anime. But I never gave a fuck. I'm stubborn. I'm just a stubborn mule of a man. So I didn't give a fuck. But people didn't talk about anime. People didn't say that they liked anime, but people would rag on me. But what I always found was funny is that people would talk shit to me. Like, oh, you like Dragon Ball? What are you over there drawing? Blah, blah, blah. And they would shit on me, but then they would know all the characters' names. Like, oh, what is that, Vegeta? I was like, motherfucker, you watch anime too. Yes. How do you know every character in the show's name, but you shitting on me? Yeah, you shitting on me. So it's like, you had to be a closeted anime fan for lack of a better term. Like a lot of people, they would watch because I mean it was popular as fuck. Everybody watched Pokemon growing up, but it was like, oh, that was anime. That's a cartoon. Everybody watched Digimon. Everybody watched Dragon Ball. Like it was every fucking where. But people were just like, oh, that's lame. Oh, you that's not cool if you watch that shit. You got like basketball and football and whatever TV show of the day. I don't even know what the fuck's coming on. New episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't fucking know what people talked about back then. It was so damn long. Back then. Yeah, I was out there in the mean streets watching fucking Monster Rancher. Like a cool guy.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough that I had somebody actually introduce me to anime, so I knew who I could talk to, at least one person I could talk to right at the beginning. And I was fortunate enough to have a friend group that was like very open to that, who then also started watching a bunch of anime like sequentially. So we had one like super fan who I've mentioned her a lot, but maybe one day she'll pop in here. Schmoop. She has like this never-ending library of watched anime and manga and whatever, and she was the one that was introduced me. And then when I started watching it, I then caught Naruto on Toonami, and that's where like it all began. And so it was still like there were certain people that you knew you just couldn't say it around. Like you couldn't mention that you did something dorky like that. So you're like,
I would get shit on all the fucking time for like an anime, dude. It was relentless. It was wild.
I was also relatively ostracized, but like I had my little friend group, and I was like, it had like 4 people in it. And I'm like, I don't need more than that. I'm like, if we would just want to talk, but nowadays it's even better. It's just so great to be like an anime fan because we have so many conventions. We have so many like new merch. Just having the things that we watched back then as classics is cool because you can talk to new anime fans about them, and they're like, "Wow, that's great! That's amazing! Maybe I should check it out." And getting somebody to watch something new that is like, well, new to them is awesome because they're like, they come back and they're like, "Oh, I love Full Metal Alchemist. I love Naruto or Kensh or Rurouni Kenshin or whatever it was." Having them come into like our sphere from back then, it's kind of like bringing life back from what was once a dead spirit. So even back then, it was like every time you had to push it down, you felt a little more dead inside, and now you can talk about it openly. And every time somebody resonates with you, it like kind of revives you a little bit, brings you your second wind.
That's one of the things is like I feel like a lot of anime. I watch so much anime. I used to have a whole like running tally list of all the anime I watched. I would watch like an entire show, like all 24 episodes in a day. But I never really had anybody to talk to about it. Even in my friend group that we all watched anime, we all enjoyed it or whatever. You know, we all had different tastes. So I'll be watching things like Ippo, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like sports anime or whatever." Fucking, I was like, "Oh, well, I feel like I can't talk to anybody about it." So unless I'm rewatching it like every year, like I used to do for a while, I would just forget shows. So I feel like I've forgotten so many anime I watched because I never talked to about it with anybody.
Having my Anime Planet list so that whenever I was like, if anybody ever wants to talk about anything, I can remind myself I got a list. They also tell me like how much anime I watched over the years, and I'm like, as I was going through it, I was like, man, I feel like I watched way more than this.
But it's like My Bride is a Mermaid and Baka and Test and all these random shows that I just used to watch back in the day that were so good.
You definitely could never bring up like there's Keijo, which you probably could have never brought up back then. What was Sekirei, I think it was called?
Oh, Sekirei, where you just punch people clothes off?
Yeah, dude, okay, so I loved Sekirei. It was like, for teenage young boy Vix, that shit was fucking awesome.
Yeah, you little horn ball.
Hey, don't judge me.
Don't judge me.
It was fun. It was a fun watch. I know that even at the time I knew it wasn't like fantastic, but it was so fun. And it was like, dude, you could not bring that show up to anybody.
Oh,
somebody
hell
had
no.
to like slip up and mention it, and you're like, wait, did you say?
See, I was a resident Sekirei hater. I was like, oh, this just worse Tenjo Tenjei. I was like, Tenjo Tenjei fucking sick. I don't know if you watched it,
but that doesn't mean that Sekirei is not.
Yeah, fuck Sekirei, dude. When I was a teenager, dude, I was like so fucking like opinionated about shit. I was like, oh, my taste better than blah blah. I'm glad I grew the fuck up, but yeah, I used to be like, yo, we got Bob Makanuchi, whatever the fuck his name was, the black dude with the dreads. I'm like, man, this shit good, even though he lost every fucking fight and he sucked. And in the manga, he lost his damn dreads because he had his haircut. But anyway, like it has the best over the time to party time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the main reason is just accessibility, man. Like back in my day, when I was a younger anime fan, like if it wasn't on TV,
didn't exist back then.
Yeah. Like if it wasn't on TV, like when I was really young and like I had to watch like shit like Ninja Scroll. Like my mom like rented it from Blockbuster, and that's how I watched Ninja Scroll. Probably shouldn't have watched it at that ripe old age of like 7 or whatever the fuck. But Ninja Scroll was crazy, and then like Akira and all that stuff. Like if you didn't get it from a specialty like video rental shop, or it was just at a video rental shop, you wasn't gonna see it unless it was like on a random TV show, like if you had cable at the time.
Toonami.
And then like you had, if it wasn't on Toonami, if it wasn't on whatever the fuck, you wasn't watching it. And then like you had like on demand with like satellite, so they have like anime networks. That's how I watched Gantz for the first time because they had like an anime channel, and then you could watch a bunch of anime. I
never got to Gantz back then.
I was 14-year-old watching Gantz. Gantz was wild. I was like, oh, this is my shit. And I was like, man, this shit fucked up. I read the entire manga. I love Gantz. I'm glad that it's over though. Also, Gantz is wild because one character does blackface and it does a bunch of terrible shit. And that's where that one meme panel is from, where it's like all the black guys in America talking to Kay. and they like dapping him up, and it is like the meme is like, "Oh, you good? You know, you cool, white boy." And it's just like every time I see that and I think about the context behind that shit, I'm just like,
Okay.
"Yeah, this was fucking wild." But anyway, but yeah, if you didn't have some method or some mean or somebody that was able to buy like the DVD box set or the VHS set, you just weren't watching it. You just weren't watching it. And now you have all these, it's gotten kind of crazy now, but now you have all these different like streaming services where you can watch Metal, you can watch Dragon Ball in its entirety, and it's just like, oh, $6 a month or whatever. And it's just like it's wild to me to have like all these like classic animes and all these amazing shows at your fingertips at any time, even on your phone. Like there's no better time to be an anime fan than now. And you want to know like what kind of like changed it for me? Because again, we talked about how we used to get like shit on when we were younger about watching anime. But when I first started going to anime conventions, it was like an eye-opening experience. Because I just sat there and I looked around and I'm just like, I'm with my people. You know what I mean? Or I'm just like, I can go up to anybody because I'm not like very social at all. Like I don't talk to random strangers.
Convention back then was like entering the promised land.
Yeah.
It was so different than like real life. Now, like nowadays, it doesn't feel like that bad. Like since you can talk to basically anybody about it, even the people who don't watch anime, a lot of them are more willing to just like hear you out.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like if you knew you weren't gonna get like jumped there, you could just tell anybody about anything, and they'd be like, "Oh, I've never heard of that. Where did you find that?" And then you could see people dressed up in like cool ass cosplays, which has also, after all these years, spawned so many more like professions. There's people that just like cosplay as a job. Like that's cool. So
yeah, I see it all the time now. Again, I guess Jessica Nagiri was like the first one that was doing it like professionally. But like it's so cool to see like people on TikTok.
Apparently, it was the Pikachu bikini that started it off.
Freaks, you little freak.
Yeah, now we have like other cosplayers. There's like Kamui Cosplay that I followed a lot. They do a lot of like armor and stuff. So they're like props and things are like really big. Now even like casual people, they have so much accessibility, and there's like such a group of people that have templates and like information. They're so experienced now that casuals can make really big things. There's somebody that made the gun that Mina uses in Kaiju number 8. I don't think that they're a professional cosplayer. They were just somebody there with a cool gun. So.
Dude, again, that's so sick, man. Because I watched a cosplayer. She made an Egghead Nami cosplay, and I was like, oh, it's just a unitard. But then she like made the boots, and the boots are like the best part, And I'm just like the boots are all like crazy, and they light up, and they're like platform shoes. And she like showed out. She like made all the little bits and put them all together to make like the big stupid rubber boots that like light up and everything like that. Like cosplaying is so cool. It's not something I really gotten into. Like one of the things that's crazy to me is that like now cosplay is kind of like a normal thing to where it's at Halloween stores. Like what is the damn Spirit Halloween? So like I got my UA like
they show up at like sometimes like a Naruto or something will show up at like Walmart.
There's
or
always
whatever.
that goofy like white dude with the Naruto hair just be like believe it on the cover. And I was like,
it almost makes you want to wear it a little bit less.
But yeah, so I got like my UA tracksuit for like Spirit Halloween, and you like see all these different anime shits. I was like, it's crazy how far we've come. Again, like anime conventions was like eye opening to me, and now it's like so many people who watch anime to where you can just walk up to a random person and just talk about Naruto, and it is such a night and day compared to when we grew up. It's insane. But if I had to say it, nostalgia-wise, 100% my teenage years where I had all the free time to watch thousands upon thousands of episodes of fucking anime would be like my golden age anime because it's just nostalgia. But in all honesty, what better time than now to be an anime fan, man? It's fucking awesome.
No time like the present nowadays.
Exactly. I thought we would have something different, but
I was like almost certain that you were gonna say back then. But
yeah. I mean,
we're finding common ground here on the DNAnime podcast.
Exactly. It's nice to end on a good note, not a sour note like the first episode with you hating Cowboy Bebop.
I don't know.
It's a classic. But no, I mean, we all got our bad takes in us. I had mine. I forget what it is. Hopefully, everybody forgot. But yes, what do you guys consider the golden age of being an anime fan? Or golden age of anime? Would you consider old classics like in the late 80s, early 90s where you had Akira and scroll, the golden age where you had all these crazy hand drawn, not digital but hand drawn cell animated anime as the golden age where you see all the classics. Where you had old Satoshi Kon movies or all the Ghibli films. Like, do you consider that the golden age, or would you also agree with us and think that right now is the fucking mecca of anime, where you have everything at your fingertips and everybody's a fan? I mean, I think it's wild to me that fucking Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I don't even listen to Megan Thee Stallion because I don't really listen to like a lot of modern hip hop. She has a whole ass Gojo song, and it's great. I'm a fucking dork. Like, hearing random anime references.
There's a bunch of like music artists that make their stuff over. There's Josh Apollo made one. There's None Like Joshua. Oh, what's his name? The one that made the Uraraka song was sick also.
Oh yeah. Turn off your gravity like a choco or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's really good. But yeah, like hearing a mainstream artist be like, "Can't touch me like Gojo. Look good in all my photos." Like, it's so sick. Like, she had the voice actor for Yuji do the intro to the song, where he's like, fire. "I like a woman with a tall woman with a nice big ass," like Grammy winner Megan Thee Stallion, and it's the voice actor doing it, and I was like, it's crazy. And she has like a Sukuna reference, and it's like that. I bumped that song just because it's a fucking anime song. It's so fucking sick. But you hear it all the time. You hear people reference like Saiyans and Goku, like, "Oh yeah, go screaming like Goku." Like, it's so fucking cool, man. I love it because, again, for the longest time, you couldn't talk about this shit without getting ridiculed, but now it's in popular ass songs. I can't wait to hear somebody right now. Is there a country song that references anime? That's when you know we hit the fucking terminal velocity, the critical mass point. But no, it's sick as fuck being an anime fan right now. So there's no better time than now. But yeah, what would you guys consider that? You can let us know in the comments below. But this is where we're going to be wrapping up the 17th episode of DNAnime Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out with us. It's been a blast yapping incessantly about the shit that we love and the shit that we're passionate about. And if you are passionate about anime, let us know in the comment section below the YouTube video or in your review for the audio podcast on any service that you use. Other than that, guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that follow button, hit that little notification bell, leave us a like on the podcast episodes because that helps us out as well. But I just want to thank all you guys for being here and hanging out with your boys. It's always a good time. We'll be back next week for the 18th episode of the DNAnime Podcast, and I hope to see you guys there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.